For the making of the jacket, I started out with this pink tweed material, and to make sure that those boxes on the material stayed in place, I glued in this mesh with high power iron. After cutting out the parts for the base of my jacket, I sewed in this thin pink material for the inside of my jacket and sewed it all together and made the space for the jacket. And then I started out with the arms and the shoulders. Right here, I'm sewing in the thin pink material to the arms and securing it with the sewing machine. After I was done with the sewing machine, I hand sewed the pads to the shoulders. For the skirt, I also glued in the white mesh and then cut out the parts and hand sewed and then secured the sewing machine. And then ironed some parts of the skirt. And here's the final product. Here's a clip of me sewing in the buttons for my jacket. Making the hat was really hard. My first try was a fail. This was my first try, so I got creative with it and I decided to try something else, which I used a box and this tweed material that was left from my jacket. I glued in the tweed material to this box and then I bought some pretty accessories, the mesh and pink flowers, and I glued into the hat to make it a vintage vibe, sort of like a vintage look hat, just like the 1960s when Jackie was alive. As for the pearl necklace, I made the pearl necklace just the regular way you make a necklace. I used a string and pearls, and together I made a pearl necklace because Jackie Kennedy really loved pearls, and the pearl necklace would look so good with this vintage jacket and skirt. After I was done with the suit, I started out with my pink dress. At the top of the pink dress, you can see there's folds in the chest area. So right here, I am measuring out and designing the folds on my plain fabric, and now I'm cutting out the parts that I will be using and sewing together. After I was able to measure out and cut out stuff, I pinned it all together and went in with the sewing machine and went straight away with sewing it all together. If we take a look at Jackie's dress, we can tell at the bottom there's like some sort of a strong base where all the rhinestones and designs are, and to give that look, I glued in the white mesh, the clear white mesh with the dress at the bottom with the high power iron. After I was done, I sewed in my own design at the bottom of the dress, which was this lace pattern that I got from Hobby Lobby. As for the gloves, I attempted multiple times. I started out with this white material. I sketched out my hand and I made it 10 times bigger than my actual hand because my hands are really tiny. Right here, I folded the material in half and then I sewed it in with the sewing machine. This part was really challenging simply because I'm not that great at manipulating the sewing machine just yet because I'm a beginner. This was my final product. It looks good, but trust me, when you put it on, it's bad. It does not fit me. It did not fit me despite me making it 10 times bigger than my original hand size. I think it was because I have a hard time with manipulating the sewing machine, especially going in with each finger. It was really hard to manipulate each finger and to ensure that the stitching was going straight and the right way. This is my other attempt, and as you can tell, it was horrible. So I had to pivot from the gloves. I really did try my best in making these gloves, and I did learn some lessons. I learned that I need more practice in manipulating the sewing machine, which I am currently practicing, and hopefully with time I'll get better. Overall, this project helped me realize that I have a passion for sewing and designs, and this is something I want to pursue as a hobby. So thank you so much for coming along with me and being the very first people to see me attempt sewing for the first time.